dirty. And we do have... Wow!
Oh no!
You gotta be kidding
Oh
me.
my goodness!
Last week in Mexico City, we witnessed Nathan Stapleton completely dominate the race, leading from flag to flag. And now we are back to much more familiar territory. And despite the fact this track is a road course, and despite the fact we've just come out of a road course, well, this track drives just like a road course. And you could almost say this track is a tricky one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to qualifying for round 18 of the 2025 PSRLA Cup Series. Hello everybody, my name is Alexander Vitale. Welcome to Pocono Raceway in the Pocono Hills of Pennsylvania. We are back in the United States after the transfer down south in Mexico City at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez, which to briefly explain what happened last week, Nathan Stapleton basically channeled his inner Shane Van Gisbergen, and I wanted to use another drawer, but Van Gisbergen did win. SVG did win in Mexico City in real life, so it made sense to use him. And completely dominated the race in Mexico City, leading every single lap, and yes, this time I checked, from flag to flag, and taking pole position and leading from, as I said, flag to flag. If this was Formula 1, if he also had the fastest lap, that would have been a Grand Slam. Which is basically start from pole position, win the race, and lead every single lap, and then score the fastest lap. But we don't take track of fastest lap, so I guess he'll just settle with a Grand Slam, which is still pretty impressive considering this is stock car racing, but still a very impressive performance from the staple. But and with the race in Mexico City, that effectively brings an end to the international section of the calendar. So from every single race from now up until the end will be in the United States. And now for Pocono Raceway here, there's really no introductions needed for Pocono. This track is notorious for being one of the hardest tracks on the calendar, primarily because of just how weird it is. Because, as we stated, this track is a super speedway. It's 2.5 miles in length, but the corners are not. You don't take the corners flat out. In fact, you have to brake really, really hard, as if you're going on a road course, and because of that, it makes setups that much critical. So, I expect. So the race, for all intents and purposes, can go two ways. Either we're going to see the usual suspects like Stapleton, Morbidelli, Justin Perez also qualified pretty well, or we can actually see a shock winner, for example, like Gilles D'Amelio or William Ayers or Samuel Oskin or Bradley Ream or Duncan Ward. This track is so weird that literally anything can happen, including big wrecks. But let's hope we're actually gonna have a clean race for the race for Saturday. But now before we go with pre-qualifying, which by the way includes the usual suspects, so Bradley Ream, the two Williams on cars, Samuel Oskin and Jack Haas. In terms of driver-related news, I teased it last week, and now it's official. Bernardo de Oliveira will not be continuing his adventure in the PSRLA with Appalachian Motorsports. In fact, de Oliveira has left the server and has been replaced by the now former driver of the 90 car in Alexander Rowe, with that 90 car now being vacant with a replacement driver not being announced yet. At the same time, in the over DG server, Bryce Egan announced that once the season is over, he will also leave the PSLRA and Vision Motorsports. So, I don't know if I said this last week, but Obo Miles, the owner of Jacome Racing Enterprises, has announced that he will also be leaving the series at the end of the year. So, I don't want to jinx it, but this is shaping up to be another great exodus, like what happened last year with so many drivers and teams leaving all at once. let's hope this is not gonna get as bad as let's hope this is not gonna get as bad as last year. But yeah, right now it doesn't look all that great for the future of the PSRLA come 2026. But there's a topic. But those are we're gonna focus on that once we get there. We should focus on the now, and the now is pre-qualifying. So I think we talked about long enough. So let's get into the show, shall we? And Hunter Mendoza will be the first one out on track, starting his first ever lap at Pocono Raceway. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's quite a bunch of drivers both in here and in the field that this is the first ever time racing at Pocono. I mean, Hunter Mendoza is one of them, Carson Miller is one of them as well. Genius de Miller raced in the Grand National Series, Lieutenant Partner, of course, raced here. Justin Perez raced here. Ryan Little raced here. I think Gary Movadell did not race here. This is the first race. This is the first time he has raced at Pocono. But yeah, in the meantime, Movadell is going to start his lap. Into turn 1 he goes. There's Tanner Parton. We mentioned how tricky this track is. I mean, it's the look of the tricky triangle. Also the exit of the road is tricky as well. It's again more like a road course than a proper oval. So yeah, drivers will have to pay a lot of attention to when the cars come out. But in the meantime, and because this track is so long, these drivers don't have much time to set a lap. In fact, we're already almost 2 minutes from the end, and only now Mendoza is about to start to clock his first lap. And 54.1 for the Williams Ankar. Let's see Samaraskan, who hopefully should be the next one in line to do a lap. There's Carson Miller behind them. Let's see what time is Oskan going to do. And it's going to be 20. So first for Carson Miller and third time for Samaraskan. Let's see, Bradley Ream 23.5 for Carson Miller, 24.1, the same time as Mendoza for Oskan. Now let's look at Bradley Ream for Cohen, and his also his teammate Jack Haas joining in. 54 flat for Bradley Ream. Let's see Haas, 54.9 for Haas. Let's see if Mendoza's gonna bet his time. While Pardon is going to score his first lap, and Mendoza goes second fastest. While Pardon is down dead last, 54.2 for the 97 car. As Mendoza is now in second place, still miles away from Carson Miller, who's now using the draft from Oskan. In fact, Miller betters his time, still remains in the lead, using the draft from Oskan. Oskan does not get a better time. Half a minute left on the clock. There's Bradley Ream coming out of turn 3. And into the main straight. The very, very, very long main straight. Right now is in 4th and now goes up to 2nd. Bradley Ream. That's gonna send Oskan into the danger zone. And now Haas goes 3rd fastest. Mendoza goes 4th. Let's see if Mendoza's gonna bet his time. He does. Let's see if Pardon does it. Yes, he's gonna send Oskan into DNQ range. As now Miller overtakes Oskan. That's probably going to affect his time. At least if he had a better time. Never mind, he actually doesn't affect his time. He's got a better time. He almost reaches the 52, the low 52. The 52s, 54.1. He almost breaks into the 51, into the 52s. As Oskan sends Haas into the danger zone. Right now, Tanner Parton will be out. Let's see Haas. Let's see Ream. No better time. Let's see. Haas is at the edge of DNQing. He saved them. Now it's gonna send Oscan into the danger zone. There's Mendoza. No better time. Parton. He betters his time, but it's still DNQ. Last couple of laps for these guys. Can Carson Miller get out of the 53s and get on the 52s? And the answer is going to be no, but still 6 tenths faster from his teammate. And I think that should be it. Let's focus on Carson Miller as time runs out. The session is over. And Carson Miller, Hunter Mendoza, Bradley Ream, Jack Haas, and Stefan Oskan will make it to the main event. Tanner Parton, however, will not. So only one Firework King car will be in the field, that being of Genius D'Amelio. See you at Road America. And with that, see you in qualifying. And then Johnson and Brendan Beal will be the first cars out on pit road. The Johnson and the Brendan Beal, as now Joshua Neely follows them suit. Of course, Aegis has been great on super speedways, but let's see what kind of performances my cars are going to do at Pocono here. And of course the rest of the field, because yeah, because of course we have to check, of course, the rest of the field, naturally. There's another car that actually did pretty well at that race at Talladega. Last time we were super speedway in Joshua Neely. Also, we should keep a look on the Skyler. We should keep an eye on all the Toyotas, come to think of it, because they've been pretty well. They were pretty good. As more drivers are entering the field, there's Bradley Ream and Harley Anderson Jr. as Johnson goes through Jr. Anderson Jr. Sorry. That's probably going to affect the lap of Johnson. There's Eric Monaco, there's Avery Alford as Johnson goes past Ream to 2. Of course, this is also training for the a warm-up for the race, basically. Now let's see what time Johnson is going to do, and of course the time that Brendan Beal is going to do, and Neely. And Johnson second time, Beal pole position, while Neely does second, because everybody else still doing a bunch of banker laps. So right now Brendan Beal is in the lead, is in pole position. As now Stapleton goes second fastest. Now Gutierrez now in provisional pole position as Zachary Fitzwater goes on fourth. Jack Haas is in, no wait, sorry. Jack Haas is in eighth, but he has to score an actual time. In the meantime, there's some slow and more drivers. Now Philip Torres is in pole position. And now Brendan Beal takes pole position back as Johnson is on 10th, and Anderson is going to be in second. Then Andrew Williams is in third. Neely is in fourth. Then it's Torres, Gutierrez. Then is Alford. Then is Davidson. Then is Ayers, and then the 60 of Luke Evans. There goes D'Amelio, and 9, 10, but that, never mind, actually, because now Davenport, now Gutierrez is now in 8th. There's Alexander Rowe, his first actual race in the 59 car. Actually, where is he right now? He is in 25th. As Mortars are scrambling for positions and to check to basically get a partner for a draft. And now Andrew Williams, who's partnering with Blaine Keys and Luke Evans, takes pole position. These drivers are now clocking 51s, mid to high 51s. As Blaine Keys is now in third. Great result right now for the driver now is in fifth. Now it goes down to sixth because pole position for Bruno Giacomo. Second will be Gary Movadell. So right now it's going to be a checker flag 2-3. There's Jack Haas in fifth, doing a very, very good qualifying session for the Canadian. There's World Crown Junior Championship leader. Right now, Crown is in 29th. As Zane Davidson goes second fastest. Sandwich between Di Giacomo and Movadell. Let's see what time Stapleton is going to do, as well as Fitzwater. And the Stapleton goes up in 10th, while Fitzwater is in 8th. Haas is in 7th. Trey Williams Jr. is in 20th. Movadell is still in third place. There's Fogelman. Davenport is in 34th. There's still Rowe. Rowe is currently in 39th. So right now, not a great result for the newcomer here. There's Carson Miller. One of the fast with Carson Miller. Miller is in 33rd. Still a decent result, all things considered. Let's check out Danny Johnson. Johnson is in 37th. Let's check out Neely. Neely, he is in 19th. Actually, there's Skylar Taylor. Might as well check out the auto SC car. Actually, yeah, Taylor won at Talladega from her. Yeah, he did what I thought. She did what at Talladega. And right now, Taylor is in 27th. So right now, the top 10 currently is Bruno Di Giacomo, Zane Davidson, Gary Movadell. Then is Andrew Williams, Philip Torres, Tom Sloan, Avery Alford, Jeffrey Finn Guy, Jack Haas, and Carlos Oshrai. Actually, that's a really impressive, that's a really good result for Carlos Oshrai. And is Oshrai in on track? There he is, using the draft from Lara Koshmar. Koshmar, who is in 14th. And since we talked about it at the intro, where is Bryce Egan? If Egan is still on track. There he is. And Egan right now is in 23rd. After his announcement that he will be leaving the sport at the end of the year. Eric Monaco is currently in 31st. Right now, Johnson and us can round up the rear of the field. Alford still in 7th place. And pretty much nobody has been able to catch up to Di Giacomo's time. It's been, what? Almost a tenth faster than everybody else right now. So, possible good result for Aegis. Of course, I would hope we actually get a good result, especially considering what happened at Talladega. Now let's look at Stapleton. Stapleton is in 13th. Last week's winner at Mexico City. There's team Ryan Little. Ryan Little is in 20th. At the edge of the top 20, there's Justin Perez. Justin Perez, who finished second at Mexico. He will start the race in 30th if things stay as they are. There's William Ayers. William Ayers, who did a really good race. Oh, there's Anderson slowing down. And oh dear. Ooh. Okay, so Anderson's got a problem, and he parked the car in a very dangerous spot. Oh God! And yep, that's I'm afraid that's qualifying over for. Dude, there goes. Oh god. Oh boy, there's gonna be a calamity. Oh. Okay, Williams to the right. Ooh. Well. Ooh. Well. That's the other qualifying for Fitzwater and Gardner. What the hell was that all about? But oh, jeez. Actually, it might as well, as we check as soon as the middle pulling into the pits. Actually, no, let's check Jack Haas. Anderson will be starting in 22nd. Garner in 38th, and Fitzwater will start in 12th. Actually, well then. Looks like PS Motorsport had a spare car. Oh my god. That was stupid. But yeah. Now we are in what can be called extra time, and unless something big happens, this is the order you're seeing at the end of the screens should be the starting grid. So, Bruno Giacomo, Zane Davidson, Gary Movidal, Andrew Williams, Philip Torres, Tom Sloan, Avery Alford, Jeffrey Finguy, Jack Haas, and Kalasashrai. Actually, no, Anthony Nicol goes for fastest. Fourth fastest. This is going to dump Jack Haas out of the top 10. Anthony Nicol scores for the fourth fastest time. He pulls a time out of nowhere, basically, to score fourth. As now Carrison is in 7th. And Sloan is in 8th. And I think this should be it, basically. And in fact it is. So, Bruno Di Giacomo will start on pole position here at Pocono Raceway. Second alongside him will be Zane Davidson. Then it will be Guillermo Vidal, Anthony Nicol, Andrew Williams, Philip Torres, Jonathan Carrison, Tom Sloan, Avery Alford, and Jeffrey Finguy rounding up the top 10. So, 3 of the able cars, 3 of the 4 able cars will be starting in the top 10. Great result for Aaron Abel's team. And Danny Johnson and Saban Oskin will be rounding up the field of 40 here at the NOS Energy Drink 400, or NOS Energy Drink 400. Actually, I have no idea how to say the sponsor, but yeah. And Alexander Rowe, despite everything, 25th on his debut. So, a pretty decent result for the newcomer. So, Bruno Di Giacomo and Zane Davidson will occupy the front row for the race here at Pocono on Saturday. And for Aegis Motorsport has been a qualifying of 50-50 because one driver is starting at the top, the other driver is starting at the rear, with Danny Johnson starting 39th and Saban Oskin rounding up the field in 40th place. So, yeah. These two guys have a mountain to climb, literally, because this is Pocono, and well, despite this being a road course, as we said all so many times, it's still super speedway, so draft is still critical. But we're done here at Pocono Raceway for today. So this has been a special presentation of the 2025 PSRLA Cup Series 44/7 Network. I'm Alex Vitale, and see you tomorrow for the race. So long, everybody, from Pocono.